Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. So today, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be doing a review for the first time. Now, what we're going to be reviewing today is going to be the new mode that they just recently added for the 10-year anniversary of The Division 2. Now, I used to play The Division. The Division has a very special place in my heart. When the first game came out, I put well over 500 hours into the game. I absolutely fell in love with the atmosphere of the game, and I live in New York, and I went to the city multiple times, so just the setting, I loved it, and I fell in love with the gunplay, the skills, and just the whole idea of these sleeper agents being deployed when all else fails and there were just citizens among us. It was such a cool idea to me. And when the second game came out, I bought that and then also put well over 500 hours into that game. I got sick of looter shooters and I did leave the Division, but I came back when they revealed this new realism mode. It's a limited time mode. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is, it is a mode where basically all the leveling, the gear score, all that gets removed. Bullets now, it's one shot to the head, reduced time to kill, and also gear. There's now armor ratings on different chest pieces, from heavy armor, light armor, medium armor. Same with the backpacks. This gear now, it's a lot of stats. Like, it's just, you get increased accuracy, or increased swap speed, or more mag capacity. Things of that nature. The gun mods don't give crit chance or crit damage anymore. It's more focused on like accuracy and things like that. And this mode right now is only for Warlords of New York. But during this whole time period, it is free for anyone. So I definitely check it out. Now, we're going to get into this. I'm going to first talk about what I like. What I liked a lot about this mode is definitely the reduced time to kill. And why I definitely liked the reduced time to kill is because it does make the gameplay a lot more smoother, a lot more intense, because you die quickly too. And I didn't mention this in the beginning, but you don't gain health back. When you lose an armor bar, you lose that armor bar until you either put on a new kit, or you get out of combat, or you're in a safe house. So that in and of itself makes the fights more intense, because you also die pretty quickly. Skills are long cooldowns, and they're not as great. At the same time, they're also good. The Seeker Mines, for example, almost one-shot. Sometimes they one-shot if the enemy's already damaged. As well as like the turret is alright. But they also changed the HUD. And this is honestly, the HUD should be the staple of what the next game should be. Because you don't see health bars. You don't see, the only way you see how much ammo is in your clip is by changing the weapons, which I would definitely change, as far as kind of take up more of a Helldiver's approach, where you just hold down a button and you see how much ammo is in the thing. Just do that. But nonetheless, I do prefer the change. And it's so nice not seeing, it makes you pay more attention to your surroundings, because you're not just looking for health bars, you're actually looking for the enemies. And it makes the pulse so useful. When I played this game, I never once used the pulse skill, because it was pretty useless. In the first game, it was useful because you got the crit chance and crit damage. But the second game was pretty useless. Besides I guess the EMP. But let's be honest, who really uses the EMP? Other than that, there was no point because you could see everyone very clearly. I love the change. Definitely should be the staple. They should definitely take inspiration from this in the third game and make this the minimum. And also, they took out the little yellow marker with the navigation thing, which I'm cool with. Look, we have eyes. We got, we got more than 3 brain cells. We don't need to be coddled and told where to go all the time. We could figure it out. And it makes you more immersed. Because that's the problem with the HUD. It's a tough balance between how much you want to put in the HUD, but if you put too much in the HUD, it does kill the immersion. And yes, you could change in the settings, but I think it's the fact of this shouldn't be the default, is your screen should be cluttered with everything. Anyways, we're not going to get too deep into the HUD. That's not what today's about. But with the reduced time to kill, it makes it more fun because the smoothness of the combat becomes amplified. It's already smooth, but it becomes way more smoother when you can kill enemies super quickly. Like, there's been a few times where I shoot a guy and I run out of ammo in my mag, and I have to I'm running away from, let's say, a heavy, like if you're fighting the cleaners, the big flamethrower guy, and an enemy's in front of me. I pull out my pistol and I one-shot him. It's so satisfying, and then I run behind cover and heal and all that. Moments like that happen pretty often, and it makes it for such an engaging and fun experience. Also, grenades. Grenades now. Before you start any combat, you could toss a grenade, and it one-shots everyone, or almost one-shots. It's so satisfying to just throw a grenade, and it just killing everything that's in that radius. Where in the normal game, it's not like that. It'll do an alright amount of damage, but it won't kill him. And it gives you that sense of ambush. Like, you actually just straight up ambush these guys by taking out a few of their guys immediately by an explosion. On top of it, it makes all the weapons reliable. Because you could truly just mismatch whatever you want, and it all is effective. You want to run a sniper SMG, you could do it, and it's effective. You want to run an AR and shotgun, you could do it, and it's effective. You want to do an LMG and a sniper, you could do it. I don't know why you would, but you could do it. And it's all effective. And it's awesome. There's so many, throughout this entire playthrough, I have changed weapons all the time. Just to try it out. Just to try out different loadouts. And it gives a whole new sense of, like, replayability, but also it makes it interesting. It keeps it interesting. You get to try out different weapons, different recoils, see what you like. And yeah. Now, what I also liked was the way you get gear. Gear now is tied only to when you complete missions or like side missions or unlock safe houses. That's the only way to get gear. I liked it. I like that. Instead of the whole, you level up, you get a skill, you go back to the house, you go back to the, Washington, and then you get something. It makes it a little more interesting. It gives you more of a sense of accomplishment. Okay, you now unlock this because you did this mission, or you killed this guy, or something like that. You know what I mean? Now, what I will also touch on, one thing I didn't like, and it's not so much that I didn't like, it just shows kind of the tweaking that they didn't do for this mode, and the AI suck at aiming. I will say. You do die fast, but to be honest, it is pretty easy. I don't really die. often in this mode. I've died a lot in the main game. Don't get me wrong. I've done a lot in the main game. This mode, I have hardly died. Now, it's not to, like, flex as far as to, like, oh, I'm some great gamer. I don't think so. But it's just something that definitely the AI kind of suck at aiming. And because of that, you are able to just straight pop heads all the time. And this is going to get to my second piece. LMGs are pretty OP in this mode, I will say. Because it makes sense in the normal game on why the LMGs are accurate. They do reload pretty quick for it being an LMG. Like, compared to other games, like Battlefield, the LMGs take 12 years to reload. I know Battlefield Division, not the same thing, but it was more of an example on one game where it has a really slow reloading time, and then another game that has a short reloading time. You reload the LMG super fast, and due to the short time to kill, you could pretty much breeze through these missions. I could imagine, I played mostly solo, but I could imagine if you had 2 to 3 people, they were all rocking LMGs, you would straight cruise through this mode. I honestly stopped using the LMGs because it honestly felt like cheating. I never go as far as to say that, but I felt so overpowered using it. So that is one gripe that I will say, was it did make some weapons really overpowered. But that is honestly it. Other than that, I loved this mode. I think Ubisoft did a great job with it. And look, I dog on Ubisoft a lot, but I'll give them credit for this. They did a good job. And I've seen some criticism online that they've gotten that, oh, it's a limited time mode, it should be permanent, and I would love for it to be permanent. Clearly, you could tell this is a test. You could tell that they're testing out to see what the player base actually likes, and depending on the feedback that they get, they might make this a new mode, or they might take the inspiration from this mode and put it towards the new Survivors mode that's coming out later this year. And who knows, depending on how much positivity this mode gets, this could be the next direction for Division 3. Because since the first game came out, it has been in debate that whether or not the Division should be more of a tactical shooter or more of a looter shooter. And I think this mode is kind of the developer's way of testing this debate and truly seeing, okay, does the player base prefer this mode and prefer this way of gameplay over the looter shooter gameplay that we have now? Obviously, it's kind of a hard comparison. That's why it's more of a theory, because this is a limited time mode that wasn't built from the ground up, whereas the looter shooter elements is going to be built from the ground up. I'm sure that if, let's say, they did take Division 3 into this direction, they would implement a lot, I would hope, they would implement a lot more and make it an actual tactical shooter experience. You could clearly tell that this is a temporary mode that they just made. Nonetheless, I enjoyed it a lot. And I strongly encourage everyone, try out the mode, give them your feedback, because especially for the people that want it as a permanent mode, if you do voice, use your voice, then it could potentially become a permanent mode that they move to even Washington, D.C. Plus, you get Warlords of New York for free, so if you haven't played the DLC yet, just try it out. It's free. You know what I mean? You're not losing anything. Not sponsored, but wish I was. Anywho, that is it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. And I'll catch you guys next one. Later.